When your body whispers warnings through your urine, your fatigue, your swollen ankles, are you listening? Because your kidneys don't scream until it's almost too late. There exists within us a peculiar biological paradox that has fascinated me throughout my years of medical practice, and it centers on two fist-sized organs nestled against your back muscles, just below your ribcage. Your kidneys perform roughly 1 million microscopic filtering operations every single minute of your life, processing about 50 gallons of blood each day, extracting waste, balancing electrolytes, regulating blood pressure, and yet they possess an almost supernatural tolerance for their own deterioration. This tolerance, this remarkable resilience, becomes their most dangerous characteristic because it masks the very decline that will eventually threaten your life. Consider how your body responds to other injuries. A paper cut on your finger announces itself immediately with sharp pain. A sprained ankle swells and throbs and forces you to limp. Your body has evolved exquisite alarm systems for acute damage, loud signals that demand attention and protective action. But chronic kidney disease operates by entirely different rules, moving through your body like fog creeping across a landscape, so gradual that you adjust to each imperceptible change without conscious awareness. The kidneys themselves contain no pain-sensitive nerve fibers in their filtering units, those million tiny nephrons that do the actual work. They can die by the thousands, slowly and silently, while you go about your ordinary days without the slightest sensation of internal catastrophe. That this biological stoicism exists because of something called renal reserve, a concept that both amazes and humbles me. You can function normally, feeling entirely well, with only 25% of your original kidney capacity. Think about that remarkable fact for a moment. 3/4 of these organs can fail, and your body compensates so effectively that you might notice nothing wrong at all. The remaining nephrons work harder, filtering more blood, shouldering the burden their dead companions can no longer carry. It's an elegant adaptation in one sense, a testament to the body's resourcefulness, but it creates a treacherous illusion of health. By the time symptoms become obvious enough to disrupt your daily life, to make you worry enough to seek medical attention, you have often crossed into stage 4 or even stage 5 kidney disease. At that point, you may have less than 15% of your original kidney function remaining. The damage is irreversible. The nephrons that have died cannot regenerate, and you find yourself facing dialysis or transplantation, not because you ignored dramatic warning signs, but because there were no dramatic warning signs to ignore. This is why understanding the subtle whispers of early kidney decline becomes not just medically important, but philosophically essential. We must learn to detect shadows and echoes rather than waiting for earthquakes. We must attune ourselves to patterns that seem almost too minor to matter, because in the realm of kidney health, the quietest changes often carry the most urgent. Your kidneys speak to you every single day through the most humble and overlooked messenger your body produces, and most of us flush away this vital communication without a second glance. Urine is not merely waste, not simply something to be disposed of quickly and forgotten. It represents a liquid biography of your internal chemistry, a detailed report card that reflects exactly how well your kidneys are performing their filtering duties. When these organs begin to falter, they alter this messenger first, often months or even years before blood tests reveal abnormalities or before you feel physically unwell. The first change many people notice, though they often dismiss it as insignificant, involves frequency and timing. You might find yourself waking 2, 3, 4 times each night to urinate when previously you slept through until morning. This nocturia happens because damaged kidneys lose their ability to concentrate urine effectively during nighttime hours. Healthy kidneys produce less urine while you sleep, allowing uninterrupted rest, but failing kidneys produce more dilute urine round the clock, and your bladder eventually reaches capacity regardless of the hour. Alternatively, some people experience the opposite pattern, urinating far less frequently than normal because their kidneys are struggling to filter adequate volumes, allowing fluid and toxins to accumulate dangerously in their tissues. The color of your urine shifts in ways that carry meaning if you know how to interpret them. Dark amber or techolid urine that persists despite adequate hydration can indicate concentrated waste products that healthy kidneys would have diluted. Blood in the urine, whether visible as pink, red, or color-colored fluid, or microscopic and detectable only through testing, suggests that the delicate filtering membranes in your nephrons have developed tears or damage, allowing red blood cells to leak through barriers that should be impermeable to them. This isn't always painful, which makes it particularly easy to rationalize away as unimportant. Perhaps most telling is the appearance of persistent foam or bubbles in your urine that resemble beaten egg whites and refuse to dissipate quickly after you flush. This foam represents protein escaping into your urine, a condition called proteinuria that serves as one of the earliest measurable signs of kidney damage. Your kidneys normally retain protein in your bloodstream where it belongs, where it performs critical functions for immune defense and fluid balance. When the filtering units become leaky, protein spills through, and its presence in urine creates that characteristic foamy appearance. Many people notice this change years before experiencing any physical symptoms, yet they rarely mention it to their doctors because it seems too trivial, too minor to warrant medical attention. The volume matters too, not just how often, but how much. Producing unusually large quantities of pale urine or surprisingly small amounts of dark concentrated urine both signal that something has shifted in your kidney's ability to regulate fluid balance. Your body should produce roughly 1 to 2 liters daily under normal circumstances, and significant deviations from this pattern deserve. There exists a particular quality of exhaustion that descends upon people with declining kidney function, and it differs fundamentally from the ordinary tiredness you feel after a long workday or a poor night's sleep. This fatigue penetrates deeper, settling into your bones and mind with a heaviness that rest does not relieve. You might sleep 10 hours and wake feeling as though you have not slept at all. Simple tasks that once required no conscious effort, climbing a flight of stairs or carrying groceries from your car, suddenly demand deliberate willpower and leave you breathless and depleted. This profound weariness emerges from a cascade of biochemical disruptions that healthy kidneys prevent. As your nephrons fail, they lose their ability to eliminate metabolic waste products, the cellular debris your body generates constantly through normal living. Urea, creatinine, and dozens of other compounds begin accumulating in your bloodstream at concentrations your body was never designed to tolerate. These toxins interfere with cellular energy production, particularly in your muscles and brain, creating a sensation of persistent depletion that feels almost spiritual in its depth. Simultaneously, failing kidneys produce less erythropoietin, a hormone that signals your bone marrow to manufacture red blood cells. Without adequate erythropoietin, you develop anemia, a condition where your blood cannot carry sufficient oxygen to your tissues. Your heart must work harder to compensate, pumping faster to deliver what oxygen remains available. Yet your cells remain starved for the fuel they need. This combination of toxic accumulation and oxygen deprivation creates a unique form of exhaustion that many patients describe as feeling like they are moving through thick water, every motion requiring disproportionate effort. The insidious aspect of this fatigue lies in its gradual onset. You adapt incrementally, reducing your activities bit by bit, attributing your declining energy to aging or stress or busy schedules. You normalize what should alarm you, accepting progressive limitation as inevitable, rather than recognizing it as your kidneys. When your kidneys begin to lose their ability to regulate fluid balance, your body starts retaining water and sodium in ways that become physically visible, creating swelling that typically appears first in the parts of your body where gravity exerts its strongest influence. You might notice that your ankles look puffy by evening, that your shoes feel tight after a day of standing, or that pressing your finger into the soft tissue above your ankle leaves a dimple that persists for several seconds after you remove the pressure. This pitting edema represents fluid that has leaked from your bloodstream into the surrounding tissues because your kidneys can no longer maintain the delicate equilibrium between retention and elimination. The mechanism behind this swelling involves multiple interconnected failures. Healthy kidneys precisely regulate sodium levels in your blood, and sodium acts like a magnet for water molecules, drawing fluid into whichever compartment contains higher concentrations. When damaged kidneys cannot excrete excess sodium effectively, it accumulates in your bloodstream and tissues, pulling water along with it. Simultaneously, as we discussed earlier, failing kidneys allow protein to escape into urine rather than remaining in your blood where it belongs. This protein loss reduces the oncotic pressure that normally keeps fluid inside your blood vessels, permitting water to seep outward into surrounding tissue spaces. Your face may appear puffy when you wake in the morning, particularly around your eyes, because lying flat overnight allows fluid to distribute more evenly throughout your body rather than pooling in your lower extremities. Your hands might swell enough that rings become difficult to remove, Some people notice that their abdomen enlarges as fluid accumulates in the peritoneal cavity, a condition called ascites that signals advanced kidney dysfunction. This visible evidence of fluid retention often motivates people to finally seek medical evaluation, yet by the time swelling becomes obvious enough to cause concern, significant kidney damage has already. The human body does not compartmentalize its suffering into neat, isolated symptoms, and kidney failure exemplifies this interconnected reality with particular clarity. As these organs decline, they set off ripples that touch nearly every system in your body, creating a constellation of changes that might seem unrelated until you understand their common origin. You might develop a persistent metallic taste in your mouth, a phenomenon called dysgeusia, that occurs because urea accumulating in your bloodstream breaks down into ammonia in your saliva, coating your tongue with a chemical bitterness that makes food taste wrong and diminishes your appetite precisely when your body needs nutrition most. This appetite loss combines with rising toxin levels to produce waves of nausea that arrive without apparent trigger, sometimes accompanied by vomiting that further depletes your body of essential nutrients and fluids. Your brain begins operating in a fog of confusion and difficulty concentrating, what nephrologists call uremic encephalopathy, as metabolic waste products cross the blood-brain barrier and interfere with neurotransmitter function. You might find yourself forgetting words struggling with tasks that once came automatically, experiencing mood changes or irritability that feel foreign to your normal temperament. Your skin undergoes its own transformation, becoming dry and itchy despite moisture, sometimes developing a yellowish-brown tint as pigments. The kidneys should accumulate in dermal layers. Some people notice a white crystalline residue on their skin after sweating, literally seeing the urea there. Kidneys can no longer process being excreted through an alternative route. The crucial insight here involves recognizing patterns rather than dismissing individual symptoms as unconnected annoyances. A metallic taste alone might mean nothing significant, but combined with fatigue, swollen ankles, changes in urination, and persistent nausea, these symptoms form a diagnostic picture that points unmistakably toward your kidneys asking desperately for